Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We are
Big
live
D.
at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. They are Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. That is fact, not opinion. That will be a running theme of today's show. We are dealing with facts here this morning into the afternoon. My name is Neil Rule. This fine gentleman to my left
I try to be as fine as I can.
is Terry Foster. This gentleman over here, very fine hockey player in his day. He is Darren McCarty. Sam Flannel, very fine audio guy. Not so fine in terms of his takes and things like that. But Samuel, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I don't know. What about you guys? Everything all good?
Everything is wonderful.
I had
Everything.
a chill weekend. I don't think I left my basement.
You know what's amazing? I know we're going to talk about the NFL playoffs and stuff, but it doesn't matter. In every sport, you think you know what's going to happen, and you never know what's going to happen. That was some amazing football out of, I guess, football I didn't expect to be as exciting, right, for over
Great
the
theater.
weekend and the games. And because I thought going in that this Monday night game, Dallas and Tampa, which is going to be played tonight, was going to be the most exciting game, but
It'll probably be a dud.
it probably will, Terry. That's the way it usually goes. But you can't say you didn't get your football fill this weekend.
No, you certainly cannot. Somebody who is not a dud, Alex Westfall, is here in the building
Westy
as
in the
well.
house.
He's on the ones and twos. And we're ready. We are ready to go. A big-time weekend, Terry, as you talked about. And it was everything I wanted it to be from a personal level. I began the and you know how this works, right? With football season and with the Lions not being in the playoffs, I started repairing relationships with the family and everything. Like, the people you
that's
turn your
wonderful.
back on throughout the course of an NFL season. Went downtown to the Detroit Institute of Arts, got some culture, some Van Gogh, looked at some Van Goghs.
See that? Yeah, you got little art there. I thought you already owned that piece of art.
No, I have it on loan to the DIA.
Okay.
Yes, I do. No, but and it was great. And at DMAC, as you said, Saturday playoff football was electric. Sunday was pretty damn good too. What do you got there?
Mike, that's what I got at the Van Gogh. The ear, you can't see it, but it's got the skulls and the ear from the Van Gogh exhibit. So I've been down there. I beat you down there.
You did beat me
Just
out
saying,
there,
cultured.
yeah.
We're cultured here.
See, and that you cannot take away from us, DMAC.
No.
You and I, we're many things, but cultured is also one of them.
That's it.
That is it. But, hey, you guys tap in, woodwardsports.com chat thread. We'll be taking all of your thoughts during the show as well. Can I just want to get one thing off my chest. And, yes, we are getting into the Nedeljkovic thing. There's a level to this I think everybody is missing, and it's just further evidence of why 1919, as planned, is flat-out witchcraft. We will discuss. But can I get something off my chest?
Please do.
About the football weekend.
Oh, please.
Games were great. Can't deny that. Can our referee get a call right? Not all of them. One of them. Can they get one call right? You got games taking 4 hours. These guys get every spot wrong. And here's another thing, too. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Amazon Web Services tweeted out during the Cincinnati game last night that they have a chip in the football. And Tyler Huntley was 0.6 yards away from crossing the goal line, per the chip in the football. We got a chip in the football now? Like, there's a chip in the football. So why do we have 70-year-old men out there trying to guess where the spot is and everything like that? Why?
It should be precise, right?
You would think.
Mm-hmm. Well, this goes back to the argument we've had years and years and years. Why not make the officials full-time? Train them year-round so that they can get things right. But the NFL doesn't want to do it. They're willing to pay players $15, $20 million a year, so that upsets you. But then they don't want to pay officials a full-time salary.
What's more ludicrous, right? What's more ludicrous in the superpower NFL that controls the sports world in this country, right? We know this. What's more ludicrous? The non-guaranteed contracts for guys that, as we've seen in the past
In
week,
the most dangerous league in the world.
can end up in the hospital, right? Or on the field in cardiac arrest, like put literally life or death. Or the fact that their officials aren't full-time. right? That might be even more ludicrous. We've been fighting this salary cap thing, or not salary cap, the guaranteed contracts for so long.
I mean, that they're very, very well compensated. I can deal with the full time.
But the fact they're not full time, Neil. So the accountability is, how do you take them seriously when they're part time at the highest level? That's like saying, hey, the Social Security for the president. Oh, this guy works at Walmart. On his days off. You got the Michigan security in the tunnel protecting the president.
Right. I want to know. When is it enough? Terry, how do we fix these guys? There are NFL officials that are 70 years old out there. 70 years old. And this isn't an age thing, man. It's not. Well, I guess it is. Because these are the
they can't make it up and down the field.
These are the finest athletes in the world out there. And you got a 70-year-old person out there guessing where they went down at and things like that, and then they have to go review it, and then the game takes longer. Figure it out.
Can I ask a question? To your point about the age, because can we agree that in all sports, the stars and everybody's getting younger, the games are getting quicker, right? So don't you need younger officials to keep up with the play in every sport? You see it in hockey now too. You see a lot of the times the older officials, like if I look at a game and I look at names of officials and linesmen, it's all new guys. Now I've been out for 13 years.
How about this? Officials can't be going around in wheelchairs, because
now Terry,
you'll see a guy get shoved out of bounds, and like 5 seconds later, here's the official. Okay, where was this spot? I have no idea, because the play happened 5-10 seconds ago.
And then they look around, and then they guess, and then we got to go to the replay, and then we got to figure it out. Here's another idea. I tweeted this out last night. How about we just scrap the officials and have the players self-officiate it like a pickup basketball game at the park? Call your own penalties.
No, because then you get that guy that calls foul on every play.
Well, then you review it.
Then that'll slow it up even more.
And then you review it. And here's another thing, too. Like with the review, it's on the television screen in 5 seconds when we're watching it. Just look up at the screen. Oh, man, we messed that up. Boom, let's go on.
Well, how many times do you know by the reaction of the crowd before you even watch the replay on TV, because you can hear the home crowd?
Exactly.
But you can't go by that.
Because
they always...
No, you go to the officials, but I'm just saying that everybody sort of can tell a lot of the time. If we're talking about speeding the game up or everything that the refs has slowed it down.
Actually, they can't tell by that. And I'll tell you why. When I was a youth sports writer, I was at a baseball game. When I was a youth, I was at a baseball game, and there was this play, bang, bang play at first base. Half the crowd was like, great call, and the other half was like, you screwed it up,
but that's
dumbass.
That's the nature of the beast. That's like when
the nature here.
When we come out here and get on this camera and people are, and people talk their talk and things like that, that's part of it. When we sign on to do this, that's part of it. I understand that, and I'm not, you have to be able to deal with that. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Joey 2 times. Neil can't even follow the rules in the checkout lane. You think he's going to be able to follow the competition committee rules as well? But at the same time, people are asking, they're saying, Alicia says, can Neil become the commissioner of the NFL so he can fix it, please? Oh, I already took the job as AD of Michigan Wolverines, but then we had a difference in opinion, and I can't take another job because I'm riding out my $11 million buyout. I'm sorry, Alicia.
Yeah, and you took your media job right here, so you still get exactly, just like all the.
So there you
coaches.
go.
And as usual, I have the solution for you, young man.
Thank you.
What you do is you have specialty schools throughout the nation. You don't have a lot of them because there's not that many officials, but you take these guys and women, have them go to school. It's like if you're studying to be an engineer or kinesiology or whatever. They study the rules. They go over scenarios. They referee regular games, and then you move those people up. Then when you reach a certain age, you out of here.
And I don't have a problem with that at all, Terry. I celebrate that, as a matter of fact. Detroit Dabber 313 was first in the chat, says, what up to everybody, but also says, quote, it's been a rough weekend for NFL officials, unquote. That's been the narrative for like 3 weeks in a row. I know. Enough. Get it right or get out. That's it.
And there's a lesson in this. The Lions are not the only NFL team that gets screwed.
Wait a minute. I was told they were.
Well, you were listening to Lion fans, but
No, but again, everybody jump into that WoodwardSports.com chat thread. We got a lot of stuff to get to. We will get to some Nedeljkovic Red Wing stuff as well, some Detroit Lions stuff. Ben Johnson.
and
man,
if we could
TikTok.
squeeze it in, since it's Martin Luther King Day, I'd like to tell my MLK story.
And we
today.
will have story time, a special MLK edition of story time with T. Foss. Happy Martin Luther King Day to everybody out there as well. And that's where we're at today. And I want to take a couple minutes on it in the open because I've had enough of the officiating in the NFL. It's awful. And they're not interested in fixing it.
Did you at least enjoy the games yesterday and Saturday?
I did, especially that Buffalo-Miami game that went on for 4.5 hours. It was like a Red Sox-Yankees game.
Oh, yeah, they had to delay the Minnesota game.
They did.
That's why Kirk Cousins lost, because
It went into
prime time. If they could have got squeezed it in, Minnesota probably would have won.
You're probably right. Anybody else get those vibes from the Buffalo Bills that maybe, just maybe they ain't it? Anybody else feel that at all?
But we've said that all year.
Yeah.
There's that something we're waiting for. We're waiting for
They're
to
giving
show
me, they're giving
right?
me Ohio State vibes right now.
Is that what it is?
There could be another factor. The week before, they had a very emotional week. Loser player that almost died. And then they're jacked up for that game because they found out he was doing better. He's getting out of the hospital. There's emotional ups and downs in the NFL. And I think it would be hard to come off that high and then the following week play at that same level.
You know what you know what I noticed, right? Where you said, Terry, that to Neil about the fact that the Lions aren't the only one to get screwed by referees. Well, the Lions coach, Dan Campbell's not the only coach to make really bad decisions. I mean, there was some awful coaching, not only by rookie coaches, but Sean McDermott himself seemed like panic. I think, Terry, you're onto something about the highs of highs to the low, the emotional. So we'll see coming back. But the biggest takeaway, again, last night is the same takeaway, is Joe Burrow going to survive? Because he might get killed again without that offensive line protecting him. But there was a lot of times when you get into playoff hockey, Neil, that first round or those first games, I guess in football, when you play one game, it can give you that shock to the system. And if you survive that, that'll carry you through.
And that's my takeaway with the Bills is, did this scare them straight? Because let me tell you what, old Joey B's coming to town now. And it ain't Skylar Thompson coming through there. You know what I'm saying? The stakes change. The game changes. It was wild last night. After the last game ended, kind of popped on a couple of the sports books to take a look just to see where the lay of the land was for everybody. And the Bills popped up instantly. I was on there as the spreads popped up. Bills came up as a 5-point favorite. 4.5, 4, 3.5. Like it was watching like a stock crash right there. Mm-hmm. And it kind of leveled out there and pushed back to 4 and stuff like that. But that tells you that the sentiment that I feel is a sentiment that a lot of the people are feeling. You don't want to see Joey Burrow coming to town if you're going to play like that, because it's over for you if you do.
Unless it's 10 feet of snow.
That's
the only thing. And it was nice weather, so that hurt him also. But, Buffalo, I think, has shown signs of they're normal all season. They're winning, but they're like a guy you can look him dead in the eye, compete with him, and have an opportunity to win. It's just that they're sort of like Minnesota. They figure out, before yesterday, but they figure out a way to win.
Yeah, it's just I'm getting that Ohio. Remember in middle of October, we were talking about it. Like, man, Ohio State, right around that Northwestern game.
Right, like, and you see, obviously, what was the theme also of the weekend is take care of the ball, because that's what Josh Allen didn't do. He started throwing 2 picks and 5 throws and stuff like this, keeping the other team in the game. So they definitely can't do that against Cincinnati.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Noma, he says, NFL needs to pay refs more, make them full-time, make the job desirable, and have better competition to be one. But, the thing is you have to be able to move on from ones that are not good at the job. See, I think we confuse that.
But that's why if you don't have that system in place, then no one's pushing the veteran guys.
You know what I suspect it is? and I'm probably right. I'm assuming I'm right. That like everything else is a relationships business, and those are their people, and they're going to protect those people. D-Mac, an 18-year-old kid has to address the media after their heart gets ripped out on a buzzer beater at midcourt in the NCAA tournament. An 18-year-old kid gets 10 minutes, and he's got to go out on that stage and face hundreds of national reporters and millions of people watching. After 10 minutes, an 18-year-old kid does, but a 62-year-old official just jumps in the Uber and goes back to the hotel.
Well, you know what?
At worst, they have the pool reporter. One person.
Not even.
I wonder who that is going to be.
Somebody you can understand maybe college as much, but pro, you should be accountable.
Everyone
should be accountability.
Should be.
I agree.
I agree,
but there's a starting point, right? Can't we take care of it professionally?
I would bet if you had open media availability for an NFL referee, I bet things would change real quick. Real quick. I bet.
That's
never going to happen.
They don't want an official coming in on a walker to address the media.
They don't have time for him to get down the tunnel, I guess you're saying. But you always have time for Cintron, the official energy drink of the Red Wings. You can get the Red Wings 6-pack sampler box. All you got to do, go to cintronworld.com/Red Wings, and you get it all. You can try the great tasting cranberry, the classic, the sugar-free. So you know what? Why wait? Go to cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron, and let's go Red Wings.
Get dope like me.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Yeah, we're here for Custom Health Centers. We can get your customized approach to weight loss. Our own Ryan Ermanni has began his journey. You see my guy Kyle there on the screen. He's down 38 pounds. Ryan Ermanni's down over 15 pounds. You can be next. Custom Health Center has over 20,000 success stories. They've helped big-time professional athletes, even bigger-time TV personalities like Ryan Ermanni of The Final Word. Heard 2 to 4 here every day on woodwardsports.com. Start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health, 844-789-8446. Again, 844-789-FIN. We are off and running live at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. And they got the Camaro out here in the showroom right now with the top down, D-Mac.
Is that what I'm getting?
I believe so. I believe that's – we have a coronation, too, in our Feldman Chevrolet Pigskin Pick'em Cup. That'll come up in hour number 2.
You know what?
We
keep saying this is the #1 Chevy dealer. If it was the #1 Chevy dealer, what are we doing here? And the Final Word is not.
How
does that work?
I don't know. Maybe we were a discount to market.
They get slugs like us, and there's no Final Word.
They're bringing them in
because they have to. It was I getting a report. Is it because they demanded the vehicles and we just get to look at the vehicles?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we get to look at them.
works.
Yeah. Their appearance fee was a Chevy Tahoe. just to show up per show. Each, yes, for the final word. But they have the Camaro at the top down here. I'm thinking about summer. We're getting off pretty easy so far. Knock on wood.
This has been a mild winter for us.
It's been livable, I will say that. And everybody at WoodwardSports.com, chat thread apps, MLK Day. Big shout out for MLK Day as well. Todd Saint, shout out, man. RJ Graham, I should have taken a holiday. No, you get what you negotiate. Anyway, what?
No, you're right.
I tried that.
Your team player. I asked you, isn't a holiday? And you
today's
said,
a holiday, and I said I want to be here for my team.
Right. Okay, so Terry Foster, who has been at this for a little bit, is very good at this business, very good in the sports journalism realm, a very good drinking buddy as well, all of that. Real Cream of Wheat says Neil doesn't negotiate, he demands. I mean, I guess so. You brought up a great question, and it's kind of off the chart here. It's kind of off the page, but it's great. And you asked the question. We watched the Giants-Vikings game, I think, with a little more interest locally.
That would be accurate.
I would think that's accurate. So, D-Mac, I'll pose this question to you. Would the Lions have beat the Vikings yesterday?
Oh, yes, I believe they would have.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. I mean, what a great performance. Hats off to Daniel Jones and obviously Saquon and Brian Dable for that team being prepared. But, yeah, I always believed that the Lions, if they got in the playoffs, that Minnesota, they would adjust just from the way that they were playing at the end of the year. So, yeah, no respect, Minnesota. Didn't they? Kirk Cousins.
I think Jared Goff could have produced the same as not Kirk Cousins, but Daniel Jones. Maybe not the running part. Probably wouldn't have rushed for 78 yards, but he could have produced something. And Minnesota, I mean, all you have to do is stay close with them, and it's different in the playoffs than in the regular season. So you stay close to them, and they're blowing their little horn, and the horn fizzles out a little bit in the crowd.
Horn.
Oh, have you been to that stadium?
Oh,
yes.
Let's go.
With the stupid horn?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying.
It is very annoying. By the way, breaking news, C.J. Stroud has declared for the NFL draft. So C.J. Stroud will enter the NFL draft, which is good for the Lions because it puts another quarterback in play. It keeps my Jalen Carter dream. Admittedly, it's on life support, but it does keep the dream alive to some degree. So,
absolutely.
There's that.
Yeah, that dream is walking around like the crypt keeper.
That dream will be the lead official in next week's NFL playoff game. So, that's what it is. We'll get to that though coming up in just a little bit. But yeah, can we pull that one, Westy? WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Would the Lions have beat the Vikings? And I know walking in that's going to be a 90%er.
Probably 85%.
85%er. I know it will be. And I'm going to say it like this, T-Foss. I don't know is my answer. But I know the Giants could. And I think we need to wrap our head around something. And this will be a theme when we talk about the rest of the NFL playoffs. Sam Flannel, you're a voice of reason. Daniel Jones was excellent.
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent.
He was excellent. I was talking to Stick earlier before the show. He's kind of been under this Brian Daboll offense, sort of Josh Allen light.
Yes.
But he hasn't turned the football over. And in yesterday's game, I mean, he played his performance was one of the best quarterback performances of the weekend. Not just the fact that he was so great throwing the ball, he led the team in rushing. He was the entire offense, basically, in a game where they scored 31 points, in a game where they won a road playoff game, with maybe one of the worst rosters in the playoffs, maybe the worst, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Daniel Jones was phenomenal yesterday. He deserves his flowers.
No, and he was. And I just wonder about that element that he brought running. His ability to run with the football won that game for them.
It's a dual back threat, right, with Saquon Barkley when you don't have to just key on him. But, yes, and is that not the structure of their offensive game plan work to a T? Like, they had to play it perfect, and what are we always saying? Got to take care of the ball first. For me yesterday, you know what it was like? Man, Ricky James, this kid's a player, right? Receiver. We were talking about where should Galladay's money go, right, to Ricky James. But they played the game that they needed to play to win, and sometimes that's what you have to do. They were as close to perfect game plan if you looked at execution-wise probably to what they wanted to do, and that was the way they were going to do it. So hats off. Did you think Daniel Jones could do that, Terry? Did you think that performance was in
300
him?
yards and run for 70-plus, whatever it was.
I could see him throwing for 300 yards, but the 70-something yards rushing is what surprised me. That surprised me a little bit. But, sometimes it's good for New York to get out of New York. I mean, you're playing against Minnesota, a team that's got their own demons. You don't have to deal with the scrutiny of New York because you're on the road. And, those fans in New York are turned on you in a hot second. Or how about a New York second, pardon the pun. So you didn't have to worry about any of that. So I just think they just rolled in there, pulled their pants down, and said, hey, let's play.
We don't need any of the Vanilla Vic resets or anything anything like that everybody's dropping. 96% of you say yes. And, as I thought about it, yeah, I probably am on board with that too, that the Lions probably would have won that game for one reason and one reason only. It was a big game for T.J. Hockenson. And as we found out, when T.J. Hockenson has a big game, you're probably not going to win. And that's what it was. 10 catches for 129 yards. Yeah, it's cool. Didn't help. It didn't help. And here's the thing, guys. And I know there were a lot of people, and there are still Hockenson fans, even within this company. There
it's
are
true,
still
but
Hockenson
why do
fans.
we hate T.J. Hockenson?
Because he wasn't part of the solution.
He did his best. I mean, he was
cool. I'm not interested
solid.
in doing your best.
Do we hate him because of Eric Ebron, the whole first round tight end thing? Is that it?
I don't like him because we got more production from 3 tight ends that were a third of the cost of him.
Okay,
that's what I don't like about him.
That doesn't mean you have to hate the man.
No, it does, Terry.
He doesn't hate him personally.
Yeah.
It's the position where he went in the draft, what he would affect in the salary cap, the fact that we got rid of him. And yes, I know that Minnesota loses, so that 4th round or 5th round turns into a 4th rounder, but that's not even the luxury of the deal. The luxury is you don't have to pay $13 million next year.
And by the way,
million.
too, and I know that was a cute thing for the media to do, to jump on that, to say, well, if the Vikings would have won a playoff game, the kicker in the trade for T.J. Hockenson is that they now have to give up a 4th round instead of a 5th round. So let me pose it to you this way, D-Mac. Would you trade a 4th rounder to turn that into a 5th rounder to move up 5 to 6 spots in the 2nd round?
Come on. Dude, you're the draft guy, and that's the easiest answer. That's a lock, dude. That's what I'm saying. There's so much more like chess behind with the pieces and stuff.
I know that's a little deep for some people to think
deep.
about.
That's real deep, but sometimes you got to understand, Neil, is you're on a different level. Too much information can hinder you, right? Too much knowledge sometimes because different levels. It's like if you're in a math class and you're teaching calculus and I can't add, what's it matter?
At WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Uper says Michigan owns OSU. And Uper, it always comes back down to this. F the Vikings. Hate them. And I don't know why. I hate them on a level that I hate Green Bay.
Really?
Yes. And I don't. You know what it is? It's that horn. I can't stand that horn.
Okay.
Is that petty?
I grew up hating Minnesota
absolutely.
more than
any
petty, because
that's cool.
Minnesota beat, at the time when I liked the Lions, Minnesota beat them 17 times in a row. It was ridiculous.
Did you say at the time you liked the Lions?
Yes.
You don't like them now?
I don't dislike them. They're just a solid ball club.
No.
Are you going to tell us when you do like them again? Is your heart open enough when they give you something will you say, hey, I'm back on board?
I'm never going back on board.
Okay.
I'm going to be an observer the rest of my life.
Okay.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, GW Kid. Don't think it's Hawk's fault, though. Goff didn't throw to him like he threw to the other tight ends because Hawk got guarded more. No, GW, I don't think it's that. I think it's because we saw him have bigger games. You just never won in those big games. Here's the dirty little secret, too, about Hawk. And I listened to this on the broadcast. The announcers were even talking. He's not the best run blocker. He's not an exceptional threat downfield and all that kind of. Well, then what are you? Why would anybody give you $10 million? What are you elite at? Catching balls 4 yards off when it's 4th and 8? Because that's what you were good at yesterday.
That's not his fault.
No, it's not. I know. It never is, right?
No, that's a dumb play. You don't call a play to a guy whose back is to the defender, you don't give him a 3-yard out, and then as soon as he gets the ball, he's hit. That's a dumb play. That's on the coaches, and that's on the quarterback.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. Was there questioning not only coaching decisions, but also, too, is some of the play calling at the most pivotal time.
Yeah, no, there certainly was. And let's do that when we come back. I want to spin around. Just kind of give me your takeaways from the NFL playoff weekend. Let's just do that. We'll get that handled. C.J. Stroud is declared for the NFL draft. That affects the Lions as far as the draft works. We'll discuss that. We'll also get into the Red Wings thing, Nedeljkovic on waivers. You, too, can have your very own backup goalie for the paltry price of about $1.6 million for the rest of the year. You want him? You want him?
He can be my rivals. He can play for my rival, whoever that may be.
Whoever we're chasing in the playoff race, that's who it can be?
Yes.
Every time with this Red Wings team, though, D-Mac.
It's this year.
Stevie pulls me back in. I get to feeling good. I flip on that Columbus Blue Jackets game.
Oh, my God. We got it. Don't even talk to me about that. Because
I'm sorry.
But, again, it's that consistency where you know where you're at. That's why you're a late season, hopefully, playing for something last week of the season. But the inconsistency is what's killing this team, because that was after doing what you did to Toronto at home.
I think they've been pretty consistent. Get down by 5 goals, get down by 4 goals, get down by 4 goals. They're pretty consistent.
You know what else is very consistent? If you're looking for something for lunch.
Oh, you got to go to Cousins Maine Lobster, of course, because they have some of the best lobster that I have ever tasted. When they came to Woodward Sports, it was one of the best days at the network, that's for sure. They've got everything. They've got lobster grilled cheese, they have lobster rolls, lobster tacos, and they have food trucks going all around Metro Detroit. If you go to cousinsmainelobster.com, you can find out where any of those food trucks are, and you can enjoy some great lobster yourself. Again, go to cousinsmainelobster.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
It's the new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitor. You can call them anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as you need it. But I need you to call the number 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people for your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and the people who have been proven to care about it, whether it's business or personal. They've been protecting the flannel for how many straight days?
195.
195 straight days of flannel
that's
protection.
crazy.
If you want that type of protection, give Guardian Alarm a call today, 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out.
Get out of my house.
Get out of the playoffs, Kirk Cousins.
Hey.
And there you go. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them Woodward Sports we sent you.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. They got the convertible Camaro here in the showroom. The top is down. We're not that far away. It will be warm someday. That day, however, is not today or tomorrow or any of the next 90 days. But it will be here somewhat soon. Wrapping up this discussion discussion about the Vikings-Giants game. WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Where the Lions had beat the Vikings yesterday, 96% of you say yes, which is an unheard of number for our chat polls.
Well, it is, but it's Detroit.
And it's more importantly, it's Kirk Cousins.
It's Kirk Cousins, and people believe in the Lions. Like, they believe in the Lions so much. Even if T.J. Hockenson had caught the game-winning touchdown yesterday, nobody here would care. They'd say, okay, big deal. Let's move on. In years past, if a guy like Hockett done that, they would be all pissed off. Man, how come we don't have a guy like that? Blah, 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 blah. But I think they're so far removed from that and so ingrained in this team that would not have happened.
Uper says, seeing Vikings fans cry brings me joy, which is great. Todd saying Cousins threw a 3-yard pass on 4th and 8. Big game Cousins shows up again. And here's the final thing about the Vikings. You know what it is for me? Like, I hate that horn. I don't like the purple they wear. But here's the thing. The biggest takeaway from it. You know how, like, they have the Viking thing on their helmet? And, like, how it almost touches up at the top of the... I hate that. I hate that. And I don't know why.
Why? Yeah,
that's like the unibrow.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you know, their uniforms yesterday, you know what I thought about the whole game? Grape Kool-Aid. That's what it reminded me of.
Or a popsicle, like a grape popsicle. Because once the playoffs come, they melt.
Oh, there you go.
Now. They absolutely
Yeah, but
do.
that wasn't out of the ordinary, right? We sort of we expected that out of any game, talking into it, that the Giants had a chance because of Minnesota, the deficiency they were going to Minnesota.
Well, when the playoffs began, I said there's two teams that can't win a first-round playoff game, the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. They just happened to play each other, so somebody had to win.
That's true.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, GW the Kid. Ha, ha, ha. Yes, Neil, it bothers me too. See? It's out there. Motown Cool says, I agree. But then Jake Wagner says, is there anyone with more petty of issues with stuff than Neil? LOL.
I got a petty issue. You should hate the Vikings for this reason.
I probably will.
After a game, I asked one of the cheerleaders out for dinner, and she said no. So throw that in there, too.
There you see. That's what I'm talking about. This is Terry
the legend
Foster.
T-Foss.
This is Terry Foster you're talking
And she didn't even hesitate.
Oh, man.
No.
I hate him now, T.
There, thank you.
You got it, buddy.
Gromit says, the horns on the helmet come together like a Rogers man bun. Well, are we going to have a Rogers hate segment? Because you know I'm down.
Yeah, but come on. You got to hate Green Bay more.
No, you have to.
You're right.
No. What Green Bay player has said nasty things about your Lions or Detroit? None of them. They don't even pay attention to us. What Rodgers has, that's why you should hate him more than the Vikings.
Well, Hockenson kind of like low-key when he got traded, took a shot on the way out.
Yeah, but it's true. Hey, I get to play for something, and that was true.
Well, nobody ever wins with you, Hockenson. That's true,
for
too.
For 60 minutes, he got to play for something.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Isn't it ironic? First one-score game, right? One-score game they lose is in the playoffs.
That's pretty much I don't know that's ironic. It's more on brand, I would think.
On brand.
Law of averages catches up with you, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it certainly does. Alicia says, yes, Rogers hate segment. All right, we won't. I'll do one in the background. Okay, if you guys want to do it, just fire away why you hate Aaron Rodgers. I'll do it in the background. I'll mix it in. We'll bounce back and forth. I do want to get into it, though. D-Mac, what was your takeaway from the playoff weekend?
The takeaway was, it's still sort of up for grabs more in the AFC to me, although I think Kansas City, seeing what I saw, is more the favorite. But the big thing is San Francisco is what San Francisco is. And early on, first half, they suffered the same sort of ill fate that everybody else did, but they figured out a way. And I think the experience and that's, to me, I'm more confident in San Francisco now than I am of any other team. You know, I mean, the other games were good, but I think that it's still going to be some sort of competitive. Obviously, the referees and stuff like this was atrocious at times. The other big thing was the play calling, like the coaching decisions. Like even Buffalo, Sean McDermott's supposed to be the best, makes 2 timeout calls that they would have stopped him on 4th down to turn the ball over. That's stuff that may be under pressure. But to me, it was San Fran coming out of it. I would right now say that they're coming out of the NFC. That's what I'm certain.
Yeah, I'm not willing to share that love for San Francisco after what I saw yesterday. I thought it was more of a case San Francisco holding steady and Seattle falling apart. That's a team.
Yeah, Geno Smith.
Right.
But that's what
Open
great
the
teams
doors to the
do. They
factory.
stay out of their own way and do what they needed to do, cause that turnover. That San Fran team is just going to me, get better. Do I think, it's going to be tough because do they have to probably go into Philly and win? But I believe that they have the team to do it.
They do. Can someone tell the Miami Dolphins there is not a 60-second play clock?
Oh, geez, yeah.
They're like just letting that thing melt down every play. Boom, boom, boom.
They were. It felt, what I got the vibe from with Miami? That the game was moving too fast for them, kind of like it was Michigan against TCU. It felt No, it's not like that.
True.
It's not like it felt. They looked uncomfortable
with the third string quarterback that didn't have the refs, didn't have the preparation. Because if Tua in there, I think you see the value of Tua not only as a player but on how he runs that offense, right? Skylar Thompson is the best that he could, but it got me thinking during the game is what did they work on in practice? Because obviously they had to have let the play clock slide a little bit, right? You know what I'm saying? So you got more comfortable doing it in 30 seconds when you don't have it, and then when it comes down to crunch time, that's what really hurt them, T. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you can work on anything, but when you got a guy out there shitting in his pants, it doesn't matter.
It's true.
It's going to fall apart.
Skylar Thompson, man, was 18 for 45 with 2 interceptions. Got sacked 4 times.
Hey, but here, how many, Waddle dropped a couple.
And they were
in his hands.
They had the lead. They had the lead in the second half.
That's what I'm saying.
And that just goes to show you, too, there is an element. Again, going back to the Michigan TCU thing, Sam Flannel, when we broke down, how can TCU win, it was very similar to the case that you're going to make, how could Miami beat Buffalo? Buffalo has to help them along, and they nearly did.
Yeah, and for all we're talking about Skylar Thompson, what Terry said about them not letting the play clock run so many times, they could have won that game at Buffalo. They had a really good chance, even though Skylar Thompson played terrible. But they intercepted Josh Allen twice. They had a fumble return for a touchdown. Those are the things that you have to do. And I don't know if that speaks to the Dolphins kind of playing above their heads and being opportunistic, or that the Buffalo Bills are a hell of a lot more vulnerable than we thought, because they were about to blow that game, and it would have been a disaster on biblical proportions if they would have.
Real quickly before we cut to the break, the side piece, Aaron Rodgers hate segment. Jeb Large says Karen Rodgers coming back next year just to get his ass handed to him, which is probably true. Also on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Now, Galloping Lake 6, I'm not going to fuel speculation that Aaron Rodgers spits on children or kicks puppies. We're not going there because you're just speculating that. However, slanderous things that are not as slanderous, however, like Alicia says, Aaron Rodgers likes pineapple on his pizza. I'm sure he does.
Oh, yeah.
And washes it down with a nice colon cleanse. So I'm sure all that happens. Again, we're not making a segment out of it. I'll just have it go on in the background.
The old colon cleanse chaser.
I will read a few of them. We're not going to exclusively do that, but we are going to continue because I do want to talk about that Chargers game Saturday night, Sam Flannel.
All right, let's do it. Looking forward to it.
We need to discuss that, I believe, Sam Flannel.
All right.
After we discuss comfort foods at Big Boy. Wintertime in Detroit, it's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. You can get the classic meatloaf, the Cajun chicken Alfredo. If you're more of a breakfast person, they got you covered there too. The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, or the Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Neil Rule here for Chili Peppers Tanning. We find the cleanest salons in the D, spotless, sanitized rooms, and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club. You'll get all the best deals. They'll beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. You can pick up the Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Cal Tan, and the official beauty lotion of Spencer Raxter, who's back in our Woodward studios, the Swedish Beauty Lotions. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Find out which one of the 27 locations works best for you. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, they are your vitamin D headquarters. It's Chili Peppers Tanning, y'all.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Terry Foster, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Westy, Alex Westfall here in the building as well. People saying, Ethan Brown, can we just expand it to Aaron Rodgers' hate season and just make it the whole off season? If you want, we're doing a low-key side piece, as T-Foss would like to say, as T-Foss has many. Side piece, Aaron Rodgers' hate session. Is that fair?
That is fair, but we have to be above that and classy. We can't go year-round.
Can't go
He's
year-round.
not worth our time.
Right. Galloping Lake says that Aaron Rodgers eats his cereal with a fork, and I can picture that. He puts it in the like Cheerios and puts milk in there, and then takes them individually out with a fork, and then probably doesn't even drink the milk. He pours it out.
No, he has
What a waste.
He has Mucilix or something like that.
Oh,
He's
okay,
in the colon cleanse.
But he pours the milk out. He doesn't even drink it because he's chugging his colon cleanse.
Or he puts peyote on it or whatever it is. Whatever it is that he does. Mike G says, Flannel Sam is a very fine regional sports media guy. I concur. Youper, Neil, who do you hate in baseball? Angel Hernandez with the fire of 1,000 suns. Can you imagine if you only had, he gets 75% of his calls correct. He calls a ball and strike correctly 75% of the time. So, he's only wrong once every 4 pitches.
Well, it's tough in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
That ball is moving all over the place.
That's another thing, going back to the NFL discussion we've had. Get him out of here. Get Angel Hernandez out. He's not good enough at the job. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. But guess what? If I come up here and I'm mid, you know what happens to me? Good day, sir.
Good day.
We will see you later, sir. That's it. That's the bottom line, man. Get him out of here. Get these 70-year-old refs out of here. Get somebody in there that can keep up with the game and do this weird thing where, they get a call right. Is that too much to ask?
It's not. Do you know what happens to 23 and 24-year-olds who are on the field and don't perform? See ya.
You know what happens to backup goalies?
See ya.
When they give up 5 goals a game?
They gone.
Cold world, man.
Don't let the door hit you in the butt.
Todd Sain says, okay, good day, Neil. All right, well, there you have it. My takeaway, I actually had a couple from this weekend. And when we discussed number one was I'm getting Ohio State vibes from the Bills right now. And Joe Burrow's coming to town. And if you F around with Joe Burrow, you're going to find out the way you did with the Dolphins. You are going to find out. Number 2, Justin Herbert, the career 25-25 quarterback, the Messiah, the top 6 guy in the NFL, as we were told by guys like Spencer and Sam Flannel, was spotted a 27-0 lead. Now, I know that we're going to discuss the fact that they called 23 pass plays in the second half to 8 running plays. And I understand that people are going to talk about Staley and how he should be fired and all that stuff. But weird that Matt Ryan wears it all the time, right? About the Super Bowl.
What's worse? What was the worst collapse? The Super Bowl collapse that Atlanta did in New England by Matt Ryan, or what happened to the other day down 27-0?
Oh, it's Justin Herbert in the
it
Chargers.
Is, right? Like
by far.
The reality is that what we just saw was probably the biggest.
Trevor Lawrence threw 4 interceptions in the game. 4.
In the first
half, they couldn't win that game. They couldn't win that game. And I don't care what you say, Sam Flannel. And if you want to isolate it to the coach, that's fine. But when it happens to Matt Ryan, there's memes all over social media. But Justin Herbert, who has, again, by the wins and losses, been pretty mid in his career so far. You guys can get caught up in all the sauce. I'm talking about the substance. I'm talking about the substance.
I mean, obviously, Justin Herbert was not good enough in the second half. He could have done more. I think the play calling was bad. I think they should have ran the ball a little bit more. But Justin Herbert certainly did not do enough to finish off this game. It was a terrible, terrible loss. And I still think Justin Herbert is a great quarterback, but I think I'm going to say something now that I think we can all agree on something. What Justin Herbert is now, until proven otherwise, is Detroit Lions Matthew Stafford. He puts up a lot of great regular season numbers, and boy, does he ever. And it is fair. He is second most of any quarterbacks in their first 3 seasons in touchdown passes with 94. Dan Marino has 98. But that was a very, very bad collapse. And I understand that the Chargers defense gave up a lot of points. They couldn't stop the Jacksonville Jaguars in the second half. But the Chargers had a 27-point lead, and they couldn't hold it. They had a +5 turnover margin, and they couldn't hold it. That doesn't happen in the NFL, but it happened to the Chargers. So Justin Herbert, I still think that he's great. I still think that moving forward, he's a top 10 quarterback at worst. But this is going to hurt his standing a little bit until he proves otherwise and kind of hurt his, I would say, legacy. I mean, he doesn't have a legacy yet, but you know what I mean? It's going to knock him down. He's got to improve.
He's got to overcome it.
He does, 100%.
He's got to overcome it. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Detroit Dabber. Falcons collapsed, and it wasn't Ryan's fault, but he was getting more than 12% of the salary cap. Please, nobody tell Easy.
You know what, Paul Thomason that says, Sam, you're making total sense.
Hey.
He's wondering if he's been drinking or not, but I think that comparable by the legend killer Sam Flannel right there to Matthew Stafford is this generation's Matthew Stafford. I think it's dead on. And so what does he have to do? Do we all sit here and think he's talented and he can prove himself and you're going to give up on him? No. I think he's a heck of a quarterback, but for whatever reason, this is the wall that he's run into.
You got to do it.
Just like Matt Stafford had to, and maybe it's away from San Diego. Maybe that's not it, if that's going to happen.
That was so egregious. This dude needs multiple playoff wins to get rid of this stench, because he can't get rid of it next regular season. No matter what he does, he can pass for 6,000 yards. And somebody's going to say, yeah, but, dude, you blew that 27-0 lead. He needs 2 playoff wins to sort of have it erased. Right now, do you trust him? You can't trust him.
No, and that's what happened. See, this is why I love the NFL playoffs. And I think it's the NFL playoffs more than any other sport. Your legacy is on the line every time you take the field in the NFL, like Kirk Cousins, like Justin Herbert. On the flip side, Trevor Lawrence. And, hey, I have to come clean on both sides, right? Like, I've had my reservations about Justin Herbert because I went by data and stuff like that. Everyone else got caught up in the sauce, but we saw it. On the flip side of that coin, I have to be consistent because I was joking privately with you guys, publicly on Twitter, about the Trevor Lawrence turnover factory being back open for business after supply chain issues. I had it shut down and everything like that. I think that is incredible. That's an incredible performance by him. When do you see that in today's day and age where he was dead? He was dead in the water. That team was dead in the water, and it was his fault.
Right.
No one else's fault. It was his fault. And what happened?
He took responsibility, and he put him on his back, and he pulled him out. They're like team efforts. So, I mean, again, the job that Doug Peterson has done there in changing that culture, but Trevor Lawrence proves something that he's going to fight to the very end, no matter what. Because I mean, we're watching him. We're texting back and forth after he throws his second, then his third, and then because his ball didn't look right, and it didn't even look. I turned it off until they started coming back, and I'm watching on notifications and stuff like this because it was embarrassing. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch because it's tough to see guys suffer like that at a professional level sometimes.
That first half, I thought of a Michigan game with Demetrius Brown against Michigan State when he threw 7 interceptions. I thought I didn't turn it off because I thought I was going to see that again.
You were watching the train wreck.
Right. I'm like, I'm going to watch the 7 interceptions today.
That's why I watched almost every minute of the Georgia TCU game. Like it was like a train wreck.
You guys are train wreck savages.
Yeah.
Not me.
I've been in enough train wrecks. I don't need
to
watch anymore.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mark Walston. San Diego has been frauds for 40 years. They're a mid-regular season team. They're pure sus.
I mean, the Chargers are always going to charger, and then they chargered again. I don't know how they overcome this. I mean, obviously, I think they're one of the most talented teams in the league, but they also play in a division with the Kansas City Chiefs, so it's not going to get any easier for them from here, unfortunately.
Also on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, and this is fair, Real Cream of Wheat says, still, why would you keep throwing the ball up that much instead of running the ball and eating the clock? And Real Cream of Wheat, make it make sense to me. I don't know. But if he's elite, then he's got to make a play. If his number's called, he's got to make a play, and he didn't do it. And they had a stretch. They had a possession. I believe it was in the third quarter. They held the ball for 20 seconds and punted.
I think both things can be true. I think that Justin Herbert could have done more,
fair.
But at the same time, you cannot have that big a disparity in running calls and passing calls.
And you have Austin Eckler.
You do. He's a good back. I mean, it's not like he was terrible, but he only got 13 carries the whole game. Austin Eckler.
27 to see, D-Mac, those are the games where when you're up 27-0, those are the games where the running back has 28 carries for a buck.
Isn't that more on the coaching staff then? Yep. Right? Take it out of the quarterback's hand. Don't run it when you're up that many points. If you ran every play and ran the clock out and didn't do it, you probably
at least
do the
be
math.
Balanced. How about 16 passes, 15 rushes, or something like that?
Right.
I'd be interested, though, right? Our councilman, Mr. Robert Colosio, out in San Diego to see what the vibe is out there right now. Is it, same old Chargers? Do they sock it out there?
Well, they hate it. They're not fans of the franchise anymore. I understand that. So they're probably actually reveling in it.
Oh, that's right.
In San Diego.
That's right, because they're in L.A. now.
Same old Chargers.
No one goes there. But I'm just wondering, like, is it – so are they relishing in the fact that they moved there? That's what I'd want to know. Are they happy? The San Diego fans, because they took their team out of there. Are they going, yes, you deserve it? Is there a curse on there?
L.A. doesn't care about the Chargers.
Or
they really don't.
But if you're a San Diego fan and you grew up with the team, right, you're bitter.
I would be bitter.
That's what I'm saying. Are you happy?
Being petty.
Well, you know what?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
For
Are
San
we
Diego,
petty
you're
on this
probably
show?
thinking the same as Lion fans that Hawkinson is gone. The Chargers are their Hawkinson.
That
Good
is
riddance.
true. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Peaceful Tim. San Diego doesn't have a team. I know, Tim, we're kind of laughing tongue-in-cheek about it. Ethan Brown, Herbert is a Dollar General Phillip Rivers.
Oh, come on.
Let that one cut to your
come
core.
on. Come on.
Is Phillip Rivers going to the Hall of Fame?
He is literally the poster child for
the
borderline.
knife's edge.
I would probably say no, and I personally think, and I know we had this discussion off air, that Justin Herbert will eventually get a gold jacket in the NFL. I think he will overcome this, but that was a bad look, and as a Justin Herbert fan, I can't defend that second half. I want to, but I can't.
Pistons fan 11, how Joe Lombardi has a job, I'll never know. Pistons fan 11, it's the same reason that these NFL referees still have jobs. For real, it's the exact same thing. He's in the club, and he's never going to be out of the club. And you can be as bad as you want at your job when you're in the club. It's just the way that it goes. Uper says he has 10 kids, so I say he's Hall of Fame bound. I don't understand what that has. I'm proud of you guys, though. You kind of let the Aaron Rodgers thing die a little bit. So I'm glad that we could just move on. It's about lunchtime. Time for a ham and Swiss, right, Sam Flannel?
You could get one, but we got to talk about Swiss Insurance. Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose a January 1st effective date. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance, give us a shot and you won't be disappointed. Or email them at mark@swissins.com. That is mark@swissins.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Neil Rule here for the Monroe Street Midway Minute. You guys know what it is. It's going on downtown. And look, low-key, the weather has been great. I know I complain about it a lot because I'm not a cold weather guy, but the weather's been great for us for January. So if you haven't taken advantage yet, and you haven't rolled to downtown Detroit, and you haven't slid out to the Monroe Street Midway, you need to do it. You can eat, shop, and play downtown. Tons of outside activities, tons of heated tent activities as well. Terry Foster can attest. He's had an old-fashioned at the Monroe Street Midway in a very warm, toasty tent. He got toasty in a toasty tent. So that's out there as well. If you're soft like me and the cold weather bothers you, they got you covered at the Monroe Street Midway. It's a winter festival going on in downtown Detroit. Take advantage of it. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more information. It's Monroe Street Midway all winter season long in downtown Detroit. Pulling up on the second hour of the show already. Tough to believe. In honor of you guys, woodwardsports.com chat poll. Are they still the San Diego Chargers? I just want to know. Because to me they are. You still call them the San Diego Chargers?
Yeah, I mean, I still think of them that way. And, that was, we're talking about bitterness here. I just, and Terry brought up a great point. Because I said, well, if you grew up in San Diego and you're a fan, are you happy now? Like in there, and he goes, nobody cares out there, right?
It's just different out there.
Right. Well, it is because of the weather and all this stuff to do. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. But I do.
I only call them San Diego Chargers like 70% of the time. And I say, oh, yeah, that's right there in L.A.
Yeah, I still call them San Diego, too. People pleaser. Question for the Chargers is, how many draft picks is Sean Payton worth? And, yes, that is the discussion.
Would he want to go there, right? I mean, that'd be something that I think that he'd be interested in.
Yeah, you would think. They have 3 of the first 83 picks in the draft, too. So that's what they have. But whatever. That's the end of the Chargers discussion until sometime next year, next football season. Because they gone, and Trevor Lawrence is still rolling on. They're at the Chiefs, by the way. So we gonna see. we gonna see about Trevor Lawrence next weekend in Kansas City. Real quick, too, I did want to touch about this. Ben Johnson, the favorite for the Carolina Panthers job. Word around the street is their owner, David Tepper, really, really likes him. And D-Mac, I'm getting very concerned.
Well,
here,
you're
man.
concerned because David Tepper, who likes things and puts the money out and buys things that he wants to get and fires guys that he wants after 1 year, does whatever. What, Sam, did we figure out? Was there a Vegas odds for Ben Johnson being a Carolina coach?
I see plus 500, which wouldn't make him the favorite.
Wow. Hey, take a spin. I mean, $10, win 50 if he leaves.
And that way, if you lose,
you win. It's the old head-heart bet.
The
heart. You lose with your heart, but you win with your head.
Get compensated for something bad happening to you.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe a little dinner for you and the wife. Then if not, you donated for him to stay.
A compensated
20 will get you 100.
A compensated roll.
There you go.
Not a free
roll. We're all
roll.
part of it. No, not a free roll.
A compensated roll.
I learned something the other day because in the Bay it was a compensated roll, and I think it had to do with stick in the Jacksonville game and taking them when they were down
15-1 on the live line, and then as it flipped around, I advised him to turn that around to take the Chargers when they were like minus 400 or whatever, but balance it so you won either way. A big payoff if Jacksonville wins. No, a little bit of scratch if San Diego wins.
Worth the
Make
effort.
a little something for your time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And D-Mac called that a, quote, free roll. And I said, no, D-Mac. It's a compensated roll because you're still paid for your time.
That's
and
it.
You said, why is everything you say, what was the terminology you used?
Why everything that comes out of your mouth is related to draft capital or salary cap? Because that's
who
how
he
I
is.
roll.
I don't think it's that big of a deal breaker for the Lions if Ben Johnson gets a job. I look at this season when they had the number 1 offense in the National Football League and putting up 40 points a game, they were 1-6. When that defense finally became competent, that's when they started winning games. So yeah, they were losing shootouts, but when that defense is good, that's when the Lions are good. The offense was a little bit lesser than it was early in the season, but they started winning games.
Yeah, that is true. It's just something that obviously we're taking a big-time interest in. And real cream of wheat, and this is a great stat. I saw this on Twitter. Ben Johnson will be the second Lions coach ever to get a head coaching job somewhere else. Ha, ha, ha. Like, think about that. Because this is a place where coaches go to
Are you
die.
talking in history?
Yeah, like when you come here to die.
I want to know who's the first.
Now they've had assistants that have left to go be assistants other places,
And then-
like Don Shula and Bill Belichick and all those guys. But he will be the
that's
first
right, Don
one.
Shula.
He will be the first one as a coordinator to leave and take a head coaching job. Think about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this is what Lion fans are not used to. They're not used to other teams coming after their coaches because there's nobody you want.
Well, Neil explained why, because it never happens.
I said this. How
But that's
about
what happens to
having
good teams, right, T?
right? You don't have a Wayne Fonts coaching tree. You don't have a Martin Mayhew GM's tree. You don't have a Rod Marinelli coaching tree because they all sucked. You might get a Dan Campbell coaching tree.
In year 2.
Maybe. Yeah, right. And I'm talking about on down the road. If you continue
end of
to
year
be
2.
good, you're going to lose more coaches.
Mark Walston says Ben is committed to 3 years with the Lions, which doesn't mean anything. There's language in the contracts that make it such.
Right.
Ben Johnson's no guarantee to be a good head coach. He is a great coordinator. Dan is a leader of men. Is Ben a leader of men? Well, he will take a compensated role to find out, to the tune of probably $30-ish million guaranteed.
Yeah, and let me say something. No one is guaranteed to be a good head coach. What you do, you interview them. If you like them, you hire them and take a chance on them. You take a chance with everybody. Bill Cowher, when he was hired, they took a chance. They took a chance on every coach in the league because you don't know how they're going to respond as the CEO. Some guys are not good in the head chair. Marty Mornhinweg, great offensive coordinator. Lions took a chance on him. He sucked as a head coach. Rod Marinelli, great as a position coach. Put him in a head chair, no good. So you take a chance. But Ben Johnson is a guy that can call an offense. He's run things. He's done it efficiently. So I can understand where you interview him and say, okay, this is my guy. I like it. I'm going to take a chance on him.
And this is another example of why it's not same old Lions, because you used to get poached assistant coaches off your ranks. Now you're talking about getting coaches, right? Guys used to leave the organization if they wanted to further or they came here to die as a coach. That's not the case anymore, so that's changed too. Got to get used to it as a Lions fan because it's not going to stop, I don't believe. So with all the other, you look around the league, San Francisco runs into this problem all the time. And all the good teams that have their coaches poached, it's about what structure as an organization is in place by your head coach, right? So I believe what Terry said, it won't be as hard of a transition as maybe we expect. I just think we're bummed out because we'd like to see this run back one more time, right, with what we saw this year with the same crew.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, and I agree with you 100% on that, D-Mac. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, NFL Draft Junkie says, if the Campbell coaching tree is allowed to ripen a little more, the OC and DC will command more cheddar in a couple of years. The jobs will be there, Ben and Aaron. And see, like, we have to get past that mentality and understand that. A, there's no guarantee that you'll be as hot as you are next year. And B, you don't know how many these jobs are. Like, guys, again, I go back to it. When I get the chance to go work in the NBA, what's always the thing that sobers me about it? The fact that it's 10 times easier to make the NBA as a player than it is as a broadcaster, my line of work. Like, that's the thing that I always take away from it. With this, you're talking about 5 jobs coming open every year, 6 jobs coming open.
The analogy is a lot the same because, and especially in the broadcasting, right? Jobs don't open up every year and stuff like they barely do. So maybe that's the one where you got to wait till guys, get to the end of their
and that's
careers.
what we talk about. Like there's only 32 of these jobs in the world. Well, no, there's not. Belichick ain't going anywhere.
He'll die at some point.
Well, at some point, yes. I'm talking about like next year. Dan Campbell ain't going anywhere. Go through the list of the coaches that aren't going anywhere. You're getting 6 cracks at this year over year. That's it, man.
And
if
there's
you got a chance
an old
to go,
saying,
you're going.
Children, there's an old saying, strike when the irons are hot. Because you could be cold next year and nobody wants to talk to him.
Right. Because what happens, God forbid, Jared Goff gets hurt in training camp? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you're rolling out there with Seneca Wallace or whoever, whatever backup quarterback. All of a sudden,
Seneca Wallace, nice ball.
Yeah, thank you. All of a sudden, you ain't so hot anymore, T. You know what I'm saying?
Lion fans just don't want to let this guy go, and I understand.
I don't either.
But from my standpoint, I want to see people elevate themselves as high as they can go.
Right.
This guy, this was a magical season, even though they finished 9-8. But as you can tell from the playoffs, anything can happen in an NFL game. Let's say they're 6-11 next year. Nobody's going to want him. He won't get a head coaching interview. Right now, he's one of the hot names, and in this league, when your name is hot, you better strike. You better try to get something then, because you don't know. There's no guarantees. Next year is not guaranteed.
No,
it's
not. And here's the other thing that it boils down to for me. Peaceful Tim says, do Lions fans trust Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes to hire another competent OC? I think you got to give them that leeway, right?
You do, but I want the talent. Bring in great players. Bring in, like you've been doing the last 2 years. It's going to work out. It's not like they're going to keep bringing in talent, and all of a sudden you're looking up and they're going 3-14 or something ridiculous like that. No, when you build the talent, even if you have a few knuckleheads at coach, you're still going to win. So I think people should be more concerned about the drafts and the free agency down the road than Ben Johnson.
No, and I would agree with this. Alpha Dog 23. I don't know that I've seen you here before, Alpha Dog. Appreciate you, though, tapping in to the show. If Ben Johnson leaves, power to him. I always like Ben Johnson, and I think the Panthers give him the opportunity. He'd be stupid to pass on it, and that's where I'm it's $30 million, dude, and you're the coach of an NFL team.
And you got to understand the security blanket, not only the compensation, but if he doesn't work out, he can always go back to be somebody's OC.
Hey, Lions fans. Would you take Ben Johnson back as OC if it didn't work out in the league?
That's
right. I think that you would. I think that everybody would. I also think, too, if you're in the market to go get a local gym you want to join, that Planet Fitness is the play. It's a home of the judgment-free zone. Memberships start at just $10 per month. And you know what it is? I was there, the one out here in Novi. And it doesn't matter where we are. There's always a Planet Fitness. We're downriver. We're up here in Novi. We're back over in Birmingham. Planet Fitness everywhere. Down in Florida for work, Planet Fitness everywhere. It does not matter. They are everywhere in the world. And with the Black Card membership at Planet Fitness, you get access to over 2,000 of them. Unlimited guest privileges. You basically own Planet Fitness. Sound good to you? Join today in club. You'll pass a couple on the way home. Or jump on that computer. Go to planetfitness.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They got the convertible Camaro with the top down here in the showroom. It's not that far away, guys. The summer will be here before we know it. Come on down here, jump in this Camaro, and do it up that way. I may be kicking the tires on an EV coming up this summer. We'll see. Chevy Blazer EV when that drops.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay, all right.
It's good to see you using all that bag money, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, too, I will break a little news as well. I am on the cusp of signing a 4-year, $40 million extension here at Woodward Sports. I'm only taking $5,000 next year, though, so I will be 1% of the cap here next year. So, therefore, the Woodward Heavyweights would deem me a good deal.
Yeah,
all right. You got that deal, you'd have to take the Woodward Heavyweights to dinner every night because they're not going to get paid.
Well, no, because I'm only making $5,000 next year. I can't afford it. I'm only 1% of the salary cap. So
all
I would be a great contract to them, and we would have a chance to dominate the Detroit sports media market. Not the next year, though, when my $40 million kicks in.
Oh, when it's due.
When it's due.
Well, that's a little bit different than maybe like the other night or what Stevie's trying to do. Maybe explain what the Alex Nedeljkovic and, obviously the Jacob Veranas and stuff like this. But really, the conversation that we've had around here is the trade deadline. Are we buyers or sellers? And the one thing that you said, Neil, is he's going to, Steve Yzerman, no matter what, look him to weaponize his salary cap draft capital. So this is just proof that I don't know if it was before you poured the last bourbon or after the last bourbon you guys had the other night, but this has your fingerprints and the hashtag WiserPlan 1919 all over it.
And WoodwardSports.com chat thread here on Mark M. All guaranteed, Neil? Well, yes, of course, all guaranteed. That's the only way we can defer it to get it under the Woodward Heavyweights 1% cap rule. So we have to. Because as long as it's there and it's only 1%, it's fine. But then the following year when everything kicks in, then it's not fine.
It's not fine.
According to them, they don't understand that. Do Easy and Neil hate each other? LMAO. No, Easy's my guy, man. He just doesn't understand how salary caps and contracts and deferred payments work, but speaks like he does. So anyway, yes, Alex Nedeljkovic, placed on waivers. I got a lot of tweets and stuff like that from the people on social media about it with the does this make you happy and things like that. And I never want to see someone lose their job unless they're not effective at it. Then, it's professional sports. That's the way this works.
Then you want to see people lose their jobs.
Correct.
That's the way sports works.
That's the way sports works.
That way life's supposed to work?
Yeah, that's the way life works.
You're not good at your job, then you shouldn't be doing it.
But in real life, you have unions that can protect you. You have people who like you that can protect you where you won't lose a job if you're bad. But in sports, if you can't keep up, you're out of here.
Yeah. And so he was placed on waivers, and it made a lot of news and stuff like that. And the away fan on WoodwardSports.com chat thread, this is where I was with it. I don't think he gets picked up. Ned's contract is too steep. Nobody's going to take a chance on him for half the season. Right, at about 1.5, 1.6 million for a liability? No, nobody's taking that on. Nobody. Which makes this a beautiful play by Steve Yzerman. And knowing that no one's going to pick him up. He's not leaving. He's not going anywhere. When 2 o'clock comes and nobody picks him up, guess what happens? He can be placed back in Grand Rapids, and his salary doesn't count against the cap this year anymore. So Steve Yzerman can run it back. You guys remember Nick Leddy?
Yes.
We remember him, right? Nick Leddy, the whole Nick Leddy play with the Islanders. He was a $7 million a year guy. They took him on in the offseason. Had tons of caps, more cap space than they could even spend. But they also got draft capital for him.
Right, at the deadline.
I think what we're seeing with Verana and with Nedeljkovic, and this is brilliance by Steve Yzerman. And remember, this is all my opinion. He didn't text me. We weren't texting back and forth, contrary to what Darren McCarty says. I didn't pour my third bourbon of the evening Saturday night. And we weren't.
He wasn't present. You did pour it, but he wasn't present.
He wasn't present. We weren't conversing back and forth. He didn't run it by me and say, Neil, what do you think of this move? D-Mac. He didn't.
Okay. Right.
He didn't. No, I'm kidding. But what he's doing is along those lines. But he's condensing it, I think, for this year. Verana, Nedeljkovic, both down in Grand Rapids. They clear waivers. Their salary doesn't count against the cap. As I look right now, Red Wings just went over $6 million in available cap space this year, this season. Why is that relevant? As we get to the trade deadline, and you're the Colorado Avalanche, where things aren't going very well, or you're the Boston Bruins, where things are going great, and you believe you're one piece away. You have maybe a bad contract on the books that you would like to get rid of, to be active at the trade deadline, to acquire that final piece. Give Steve Yzerman a call, 248. He's
like
the
storage.
guy.
right?
He's the guy.
It's like a storage unit.
He's
hey,
a storage
he needs a
unit.
storage unit to pay. I'll take that over for you.
He's
Go
a
ahead.
storage
Go get that
unit
new.
for your bloated veteran contract that you're overpaying on. Bring it to us, compensate us to get rid of it. We're junk removal. Snap your fingers, and we'll show up, and we'll remove the junk from your roster. Now, you'll compensate us. You'll give us some draft capital. He's turning water into wine. He's turning Alex Nedeljkovic, who, by all rights, the performance necessitated the move to put him on waivers and to send him to the minors. He's turning that negative into a possible positive. That's how I see it. Your thoughts?
I think he's definitely turned it into a positive. And, I always said this. I know you freaked out about the goalie situation in early December. And I said, this is going to be resolved in January. Don't worry about that. And I think the other thing that Steve Yzerman has done, let's throw the money out of it, is are the Wings better off at goalie today than they were a year ago? Yeah. So he's done all this shuffling around and the cap space, and that makes you happy. But the bottom line for the fans, when the puck is shot on net, it's a greater chance of it being stopped than it was a year ago or 6 months ago or 3 months ago.
There's a bunch of things. First, it's hashtag Wiser Plan 1919. But the whole thing is that we always said, like, when it comes to the draft time for Steve Yzerman to make the selections, is that's when you give him the opportunity and he's going to pick good players. But right here at trade deadline time seems like this is when he does some of his best work. Now, for anybody, a little update out there too, who's the Verona Anthony Mantha trade, right? Where Mantha got scratched. He's been a healthy scratch. So both of them maybe aren't performing. So it's sort of, you're not really losing anything if you want to look back at that trade. But the whole thing is it comes down to who do you trust making these decisions, putting you in the best possible position moving forward.
And D-Mac, you bring up the word decision, and that was great timing by you. And you didn't even know it. It was impeccable timing by you, because it brings me to this comment from Let's Go Red Wings Sparty. The timing seems odd, though, with the hot streak in Grand Rapids he's been on, don't you think? And no, it's not odd. You know what I think this was? I think a decision was made.
But it's also, too...
It's a dealer change.
What about strike while the iron's hot, also, too, while he's playing well?
No, I don't...
But the decision had to have already been made.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think that's inconsequential. Because, again... He's done. His time with this team is over in 10 weeks. 10 Sundays from now, it's done.
Is this right, Neil? And as far as like what he did is he salvaged half his salary. He salvaged and just that little bit. Maybe some other teams don't value the $1.6 million a little bit because it's like, just over probably minimum.
But they got it over $6 now.
Yeah,
they got the cap space over $6 million available. They can take on a pretty big contract. And it tells me a couple of things, right? That I think I see the writing on the wall. And again, I'm just spitballing here. I don't know. I'm not a GM. I'm not a lawyer. Terry Foster hates this discussion right now. But I'm not a lawyer. But it tells me that I think the decision's been made that Stevie Y is going to hold the cards for this year. He's going to acquire assets. And we'll figure it out next year. And Alex Nedeljkovic's time with the Red Wings is over. Because the second you're not re-signing him, that's it. That's all.
And that's next level GMing.
Right. And another thing about getting hot in Grand Rapids, he's supposed to get hot in Grand Rapids. It's Grand Rapids, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah.
But maybe, and I'm going to steal a baseball term, maybe Nedeljkovic is a 4A player. One of those guys is too good for Toledo, but not good enough for the Tigers.
Right.
And absolutely, I see the chat thread as far as the team didn't play well in front of them. Yes, that's correct. But again, you don't have that time to decide when you're building at this point of what you're building with the Detroit Red Wings, right? So you have to make these are tough decisions. I like what Tammy Chin said earlier. He says, I understand why it's made, but I'm sad about it. And you're allowed to be sad 100%. About it. That's okay, but it's the business when you understand why it's done. It's sort of like, use the analogy, it's like parental. Stevie's like like parental. Is that you don't have to like it, but you understand that he's doing it for the betterment, moving out of love. That's exactly what it is, Neil.
This organization is his child, and he's doing this move out of love.
Right, and maybe players don't play as well in front of him because they're out there on the ice busting their ass, and they know this dude's going to give up a butterfly any second.
I'll go even one more. Where you just realized when you said that Steve Yzerman has 3 daughters. This is his son. Detroit Red Wings is his boy.
There you go. What about? I like Rack's theory. I'm still holding out hope that Toronto will pick up Ned the next time we play him, we can score 8 goals against them. That and hope that Rack. Go ahead. That's fair. You can do that. That's the vibe I'm getting though, and I could be wrong. I'm not right, but it makes a hell of a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Of course.
Yeah, it does. No, it absolutely does, because this is as you're getting better and as you're getting closer. What do you the decisions are going to get harder and harder, but this proves that not only you're getting better as a team. To Terry's point, is your goaltending better at this point this year than it is last year? Do you like what's in that? That's a no-brainer, right?
Yes.
So
Detroit Dabber 313 says Neil and Steve Yzerman weren't texting because they were FaceTiming. I can't comment on that. That would violate the terms of my consulting agreement with the Detroit Red Wings.
Can I just read this one before we go to break?
Yeah.
So Johnny Lethman, who is on the Walleye, right, the Toledo Walleye team, and I think he played at Michigan State, was on my high school goalie, and we got a state championship in high school because of him. We didn't leave him out to dry. We had to hold up our end of the bargain. I coached Johnny Lethman. He was my son Griffin's goaltender for a few years. Great kid. So, yes. So maybe he is the future. He's playing in Toledo and stuff like this.
There's options.
If that doesn't matter, I'll tell you something that does. At Alta, uptime, it matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You got a bog project coming up. It's been sort of nice outside. There might be some outdoor things you need to tend to. Well, Alta Rent, they got you covered. So give them a call today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
The Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling game. There are 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play or $120 lane reservation for up to 10 people. They have a $2 mystery beer machine and a full bar as well. You can check them out at the Fulling Warehouse, or you can visit their website at fullingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Terry Foster, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the building. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, woodwardsports.com chat thread. Mike G says, Neil and Stevie don't hang out at the Olive Garden on 29 Mile. We would never live that close to an Olive Garden. We hang out at Cafe Verona in the back room when we're making moves, D-Mac. When I'm
I know.
When he says, Neil, what do we do here about Ned? And I said, well, Stevie, I'm never going to tell you how to do your job. But if it were me, Some updates as well. Man, big news day today. C.J. Stroud declared for the NFL draft. Jordan Addison declared for the NFL draft as well. The Stroud thing affects the Lions. It just quarterbacks going in front of them, which keeps my Jalen Carter dream on life support. Some television news as well. Hall of Famer Jack Morris will not be a part of the broadcast team on Bally Sports in 2023. Craig Monroe will be taking on a heavier schedule, working in the analyst chair. So
you know what? Good. Not to be rude, but Jack Morris is boring. And what do we say about baseball? You need more excitement. You need people
Simo
that are
makes
going
it exciting.
Yeah, Simo's
like,
Simo. I mean, he's a slappy, but he's like all gung ho.
Yeah.
He's
That's
happy
what
to be
baseball.
there.
Yeah, that's what baseball needs.
Absolutely, and wants to spread that love. Like that's what I guess you want more of out of your color guy, right?
I got a text,
especially on this team.
I got a text, and look, I've been critical about the Tigers and like their lack of activity in the international signing market, where the Padres are getting like the best player in the world at 16 years old, like they're the catching version of Ronald Acuna. You know, and we don't get anybody. But anyway, a friend of mine, I won't name his name, said, he's not a Jack Morris fan, by the way. He says, I would take this over any international signing any day. So not a Jack Morris fan, I guess. But, you know, whatever. Not my words. Those are his words. Man, that has a lot of words to share with us to talk football. We've did it all season long. Our guy, Ryan Palter, the sales manager here at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. Ryan Feldman, a big reason for that. Good to have you back here again, my friend.
It's good to be back. Feels like it's been too long.
It has been a minute.
And you know what he is?
A long time.
He is a fine young man.
He is a very fine young man.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. Now, Ryan, we appreciate your time. We promised it. We are here. It's time for the coronation in the Feldman Chevrolet Pigskin Pick'em Cup. There was one clear winner. There was a man who went above and beyond the rest of us mere football picking mortals, Ryan. And you're here to hand over the reins, right?
Yeah. Listen, I want to congratulate Darren D-Mac McCarty on his championship victory. Now, UPS is a little like my bets, very over-promising and under-delivering. It's out on delivery. Hopefully it gets here before 1 because the belt is in process. They're usually here by 10:30, and I've been promised by everybody.
Hey, you know what? It's me,
here.
bro. I wouldn't expect anything else. I mean, I'm getting the DMAC treatment. That's what part of being a grind liner is. It's the thought that matters anyways. And,
well, you got to
I
see
just
a
want to
picture of
say,
it, and I wish we could put it up to show everybody. Cause
I will.
We'll run it back. When the belt arrives, we'll do a proper.
But thank you for the participation and the motivation.
You're welcome.
Right?
I'm
You
glad I could
motivated me
motivate
just
you.
like if you've heard me talk about my 9th grade math teacher, Mr. Tymek, in the same sort of way. So you, my friend, propelled me to victory.
Yeah.
Or the other thing that may have happened is maybe a slug like me hit the UPS driver upside the head and stole the belt.
But Terry, that would be true. But I don't believe you do that on Martin Luther King Day. That's the only
true.
reason.
And I wouldn't do it
And
to my
maybe it's
pal
late
D-Mac
because
because
of
he,
that.
too, is a fine young man. So
Thank
I'll do
you.
that to him.
But Darren McCarty, 31 and 17.
That's
And-
pretty impressive, really, when you think about it.
And look,
I
you
mailed
guys
it
know-
in the last 2 weeks,
You
too.
guys know how this works. These were picks against the spread. Like that's strong.
That's very strong.
That is strong. They were emailed out. Everybody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But yes, 31 and 27. Terry Foster fought valiantly. He was 27, 19 and 2. I was 25, 22 and 1. I took it for the team though, coming down the stretch by picking against the Lions. D-Mac.
I rode the
Lions in.
And here's the one thing too, Neil, is how many times did you say I didn't?
Oh wait,
just,
guys, look at this.
I looked at it for a few weeks.
Don't drive by. No,
I
the
looked
UPS
at it.
road is
I
going
looked
down
at it
River
for a
Road
few
right
weeks.
now.
But I used the bird, but I used the Lions
went by.
I'll be back.
To my
I'll be
benefit.
back. We'll be right back.
Just like anything else.
Now, the thing that was
is
annoying
turning
to
in.
me was during much of the season, I was picking at a rate where I would have become a millionaire in Vegas, but I kept falling further behind this guy. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
No, absolutely. It was a good run by everybody there. You go over 500 picking these games. You're good at doing it.
Well,
You're
you know what? I got to
absolutely good at doing it.
congratulate the two of you too, because I mean the records that you had are profitable
Yes.
records, and I did the quick math. Thank goodness, because all of us could have covered Ryan.
Oh yeah, the reason Feldman Chevrolet is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer is not because they're selling football picks. It's because they're selling Chevrolets, and Ryan Palter is very good at that. Now, picking football games, Not as much, but he shouldn't be.
But
It's not
it
his lane.
makes sense because he's spending all the time here selling
Giving
cars.
you a good deal on Chevy.
No, but you know what else he's selling? He's selling hope.
He is.
That's
and
right.
dreams.
Every time we pick, we knew one dude we were going to be better than, and then people who come in here to buy a car that says, well, I know I'm going to make out well
against this guy.
Right.
Everybody else does. Yeah, but that's the way it was. But no, it was a lot of fun to do. And word on the street is, we're going to run this back next year for sure. There is a belt coming. Darren McCarty likes championship
collect
belts.
belts and rings and belts.
Yeah, so he loves that.
I like that.
And
it's another one for the Cats, the two Persians to play in. They like the belts too, Neil.
No, absolutely. So you will get your championship belt, and it's well deserved because DMAC 31-17. You were on the Lions coming down. I believe you went 7-1.
I did
with the Lions the last 8 weeks. Good for you, man. Congratulations.
I did. That's why. Another reason why you always ask why this isn't the same old Lions team, right? They came through. They came through hard for me. So thanks to everybody for participating. Oh, look at this thing.
Oh, my.
It's almost like we planned this. All right, here we go. The coronation.
Oh.
The belt is here.
This is
nice.
awesome.
The Feldman Chevrolet Pigskin Pick'em
Cup I love it,
champion
dude.
Is Darren McCarty.
That is money. Can we here, go show it to the crowd. That is awesome. Do you see it?
That's nice.
But it's got everybody, so it shows each year, so it's got the pigskin and it's got you guys on it also and what place you finished.
Oh, there it is. With all the finishers and where we were.
And
the
great thing is DMAC has a pair of shoes that matches that belt.
He does.
Absolutely. If not, I can borrow them from you.
Oh, I like that. They picked my picture from when I got my tips highlighted for charity. I do like that picture.
Hey, look at that's pretty cool.
The away fan, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. That is sick. Detroit Dabber, DMAC got the strap. Right. Steve Brown, that's a sweet belt. So people like the belt.
Yeah, that was from the first year of LCA.
Oh, gee, you look... Oh, I thought this was you right here. I was going to say,
you look like
that's me and you.
It's me and Ryan.
Oh, it looks like a prison photo.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, baby.
Yeah, there
Belt
it is.
collector.
Hey, Ryan, thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Hey,
You're
bro,
a great
thank
sport.
you.
Young man.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You gotta figure something else to do out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a tournament bracket or something like that. Got to, right?
Yeah, let's go.
There you go.
I'll lose that too.
You can lose that too, no question. People like the belt though. People like the belt, so that is cool. Congratulations, DMAC.
Yeah.
And there he is, 31-17, man. You can't hate on that. You can't be mad at that, T-Foss.
Thank you. This is awesome. I will cherish this.
Couldn't happen
Like
to
I
a
said, I'll
nicer
put
young
this
man.
up. Cats love running through these.
So yeah, there he is. The road to the strap goes through DMAC. That is true. If you want it next year,
In and out of the ring.
And he can always say, I won the first one.
The inaugural one.
Right.
Absolutely. So we all got our work to do next year, T-Foss. I will have to dig deeper, maybe go Mountain West exclusive.
Oof.
Whoa. You're gonna put the get right effort into
every
See, I
bit.
forced you to step it up a little bit,
You
right?
did.
Where you take the get right so serious, and I think maybe you just thought it'd be a little bit easier.
Right.
Early
See, I
on, so
lost
you're gonna give
because
us the get right
of
effort.
one of my philosophies in life, never bet on or against the Detroit Lions. I avoided them like the plague.
You did.
He didn't, and picked up a big victory.
Now remember, 31-17, Sam Flannel, he's a justified champion. But just to give the people context, we're 32-10, right?
It's outer space level good. It really is.
I just want it out there. And we're taking that effort to next year in the Feldman Pigskin Pick'em Cup.
Ooh, so
I see this right here. I don't like it. I am doing like J.J. McCarthy and standing on the field and watching the other team celebrate.
Yeah.
Except I'm not going to let it happen again. That's going to be the difference.
And third time is the charm for J.J. McCarthy.
Yep.
So, hey, maybe next year.
Can I do like J.J.? Can someone, like as a photo op, can somebody like take a photo from behind of me watching DMAC with the belt?
Absolutely.
Then I can do a little post
I'm going to be
about
looking at it. You can just be
and I'm
bitter
motivated.
beer face.
Yeah, hashtag motivated for next season.
But we need some confetti in front of DMAC. And maybe drop the balloons and stuff. And
next year when I win, that's what I'll ask for. Confetti from the ceiling.
There you go.
So
Yeah, I
that's
just
what
want
it
the
is.
belt. I mean, this is awesome.
Mike G says JJ will still get us there. So, okay, absolutely. We will take a break when we come back. Speaking of Harbaugh watch, we got to give an update, right? See what's going on as Harbaugh turns.
Oh, is he still in Ann Arbor?
I don't know.
Huh.
We'll have to see, and we'll have to find out. So, hey, let me tell you, sports marketing agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word. It's a series that helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you're struggling, go to thesportsma.com. If somebody you know is struggling, thesportsma.com, the sports marketing agency, they're here to work.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Neil Rule here for Bedrock Detroit. Downtown Detroit's all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway, and that has expanded to all winter season. They got the giant slide, winter bumper cars, an indoor arcade, and you can get drinks at the Lodge before or after games downtown. Red Wings, Pistons, whatever. You can hang out downtown, shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more information about the Monroe Street Midway. Coming on the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We are live at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. D-Mac getting his hardware from the Feldman Chevrolet Pigskin Pick'em Cup. He was the champion, 31-17, and a job well done, a well-earned prize for him. But next year, remember it, D-Mac. Remember it. Let's go Red Wing Sparty says Neil needs to start meditating before making the picks next year. Terry, I will. I will do a colon's cleanse. I'll cleanse out the colon, and I'll do peyote trips.
Oh, then you're going to be unbeatable then, if you're going to do all that.
No question.
Get out of your comfort zone, kid.
My motivation is I'm going to pretend that first place tomorrow is a weekend with Chesty Malone. So that's going to motivate me to win next year.
So you're going to snap back into reality, too. Okay. I like it. Sam Flannel, he's your coach. He's bringing this on you as a Michigan fan. I made my case for Michigan AD. I was hired, and after we signed the contracts, my course of business was not acceptable to some of the longstanding members of the Michigan community, so they relieved me of my duties, but they are paying me my guaranteed contract, so I tried. What do we have, Sam Flannel? Any new developments in the Jim Harbaugh turns?
It's just kind of seems like more of the same, where it's like there's speculation, he wants to come back, there's interest from an NFL team, sort of. We saw this last year, we saw this most of this year. The problem is right now is this should be a time where Michigan football is celebrating. You see how many people are coming back that we didn't even maybe expect, like Zach Zinner, Trevor Keegan, Cornelius Johnson, Michael Barrett, Mike Sanders-Still. They're all keep announcing that they're coming back to go along with J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Will Johnson. This is a team that should be stacked next year. That should easily win the Big Ten. And you'd think that would carry over into upcoming years. But with all this sort of dragging his feet Jim Harbaugh's doing, I don't know. I'm almost at the point where, as much as I respect him as a coach, as much as I love the work he's done in the past couple of years, if this keeps up, I'm going to just stop caring and be like, you know what? Go ahead. I know that sounds kind of harsh against such a great coach, but it's like I'm about over it.
Well, let me ask you this. If he flirts and the bottom line is he stays, why do you care?
It's not that I care if he flirts with the NFL. It's the fact that if he continues this, the effects that it could have on recruiting. I'm starting to think, like Neil said, that maybe the NFL just doesn't want him, like it's passed him by so far. But I just wish at some point he would make a commitment, that AD and Jim Harbaugh would come to an agreement, make him the highest paid coach in college football for all I care, like Neil said. I'm fine with that. The fact that it's not happening, the fact that Michigan isn't getting higher recruiting classes than you would expect coming off of 2 Big Ten championships, that's what concerns me more about the program moving forward.
From what I've seen, Donovan Edwards did an interview with 247sports.com. He was quoted as saying the Jim Harbaugh stuff is, quote, outside noise. He already told us before we played TCU that he was coming back. I know he's a man of his word. He's been a man of his word every moment of my recruitment, ever since my recruitment. So Donovan Edwards does not seem worried at all. And you know what, D-Mac? I'm kind of turning around to your camp and Terry T. Foss, your camp, where, like, why do you care? Right? And that's valid. I think that's a valid statement that you make. And I also am on the Sam Flannel trajectory as well. I think that Jim Harbaugh is a side piece to an NFL owner right now, to where if things don't go the way that they want them to go, he's kind of there. He's their Nerlens Noel. In case of emergency, break glass. Like, that's what Jim Harbaugh is to me. And both of them are right. And you're right, T. Foss. And Sam, like, it's to that point, where you just need to block that out. This is business, and this is how business works.
But why should you care? I will answer that question. Don't you want a coach that's fully committed to your program? Not just on Saturdays in the fall, but recruiting day, when some of your players either declare for the draft or senior players receive awards. Shouldn't your coach be there, fully committed, fully behind everybody? You're the face of the program, and when you kind of disappear, that means you're a Michigan man when it's convenient, but you're not a Michigan man year-round. That's the why should you care answer from me.
Yeah, I think it's are you in or are you in the way, right? And it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and I think that it's the questions. And it's also, too, is that, the NFL's interviewing the people they don't know about. They know what they're going to get with Jim Harbaugh, and I think it's just like the safe pick, like you said, Neil. So both things can be true. If you're a Michigan fan, it's just like go either way so we can move on. But you need a guy to be committed because it goes back to if you're going to compete for a national championship, if that's your expectations, you need to recruit better. And only guys, look at Kirby Smart. He just won the national championship, and probably next day he's out there recruiting the 5 stars and getting the 5 stars. So it's just frustrating because of the commitment to are you in or are you out?
And you have the right to apply for jobs,
100%,
or for people to talk to you about jobs. Nothing, but doesn't have to be every year. This is a recycling thing, and and then he said, "Well, this is the last time you have to go through this with me for the next 364 days." Then he's right back at it again, and then this stuff is going to crop up next year too.
But doesn't it seem like he's soliciting?
He is soliciting
more than it is that they're coming for him. Because what have we seen before? These teams want something, they go out and get it.
They just go get it.
They just go get it.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Cornelius T. Hiring Neil was the best thing we've ever done as Michigan fans. Would you agree with that, Sam Flannel?
I mean, for me, I wouldn't disagree with that. Not as a Michigan fan, just as a person. I think you've been a very fine asset to Woodward Sports.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We don't always agree on all our Michigan takes, but it's all good. I don't know. I think this Harbaugh stuff, as much as I want him to stay, as much as I appreciate what he's done, it gets a little bit wearing. And I've also said before that I think one of the factors that I don't know is we talk about enough is he is one of the few guys who was uniquely great at both the NFL and college. Nick Saban wasn't, Dabo Swinney wasn't, Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney never coached in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh actually believes he can win a Super Bowl, and he should. But at some point, he's 60. If I'm an NFL team, I don't know if I want a 60-year-old first-year head coach on my team.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Mike G says, yes, A.D. Neal gave Jim $15 million per year, which I did. Here's where I think, you know what? I think you're in your feelings a little bit, though, Sam Flannel.
Okay.
Because it's college football, yes. And we're always going to root for the jersey because it's where we went to school. or it's the team that we buy T-shirts of when we're at the store, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's that college emotion that's attached to it. It's college football, and it's college in name only. This is professional sports, and we're seeing it more and more every single day. This is how pro sports work. I think Michigan fans need to get out of their feelings a little bit about the Harbaugh thing. He's the best coach for you guys, right?
Sure.
The most obtainable coach that you guys can have because he's here right now.
Yes.
And he's doing it at a level.
Yes.
You just need to block that out. And until he leaves, don't worry about it. You got to be a professional about it, Sam Flannel, because he's being a professional about it. He's handling his business, and however it's going to work out, hey, I made my case. You guys hired me, then bought me out. I laid out the plan. I was going to make him the highest paid coach in football, and I got crushed on social media for that. But nobody understands markets, and nobody understands how professional sports work, Terry. This is professional sports, and this is the market, because what's the remember who has the leverage in all this? And I know he's goofy, and I know they get killed when they play somebody from the SEC, but he's the best you can get, Terry. So you got to pay him, like it or not. You got to pay him.
That's right, and he's providing Michigan
a service.
What the Michigan service has been for decades. Beat Ohio State, win the Big Ten, and then the rest of it is gravy. And I think that's Michigan's ceiling. Michigan's ceiling is winning the Big Ten and beating Ohio State. It can't go any further than that. So that's why maybe you pay him $15 million a year, because Alabama can go to a higher level. Georgia can go to a higher level. Michigan has that ceiling, which is 1 or 2 steps below.
Well, the SEC operates on a professional level, right?
Yes.
You don't debate until Michigan does and is committed to that, then I believe that you're all right.
Right. Unless Michigan, and I've always said that, are you willing to roll in the mud with Georgia and Alabama? And a lot of Michigan fans are like, no, we want this program to be one of integrity, even though there's some stuff going on with the coach. You're not willing to do what they want to do.
FJ 1967 brings up a good point. Maybe the NFL only wants one Harbaugh. Maybe. And hey, with his clock management last night, no, I see what he was doing last night, though. He wasn't interested in giving Joe Burrow the football back. I think if they would have scored the touchdown, he would have went for 2. And that's it. I'm not giving Joe Burrow a shot.
I 100% agree with that. But that is the Baltimore Ravens. They let one slip away. And Joe Burrow, as much as we love him, I think he might be the second best quarterback in the league. They almost let that one slip away. That would have been a bad loss.
No. He didn't look Burrowish last night. He looked a little bit sustainable, but he was able to figure out he finds a way to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and if he wanted to look Burrowish, maybe he should have went and got a haircut before the game.
That's what I'm saying. Go to Lady Jane's for award-winning haircut experience. Register for once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. Yes, $200,000. I said it, $200K. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Matrix Home Solutions is your go-to for any home project. Looking for a man cave? They are the basement remodel experts. They also specialize in bathrooms and kitchens. An A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. Call 888-594-8844 or go to matrixhomesolutions.com.
Final segment of the show, Big D Energy live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. They are Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They got the convertible Camaro in here ready to rock. Get the jump on summertime. It's getting me excited just looking at it. It will be warm again, D-Mac. We will be on the golf course before we know it. It is Martin Luther King Day, so happy MLK Day to everybody out there. In honor of that, we have a special MLK edition of Storytime with Uncle T-Foss. I can't wait.
Okay. When I was a younger sports writer, I gave an MLK speech at a local high school. And there was part of a program a kid gave the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, and they sang and everything. Afterwards, a single mother approached me and said, asked if I was a sports writer. I said, yes, I was. And did I have any connections in college football? I said, well, I have a couple. And she said, well, I have a son who plays football, and he's not getting any offers. I think he's a good player. He's kind of speedy, and I think he could help a program. So at the time, I knew some people who were assistant coaches at Grand Valley and Wayne State. So I called them and said, hey, look, I don't know who this guy is, but, he's so-and-so, and can you look at his tape and see if you can find a job for him? So they looked over his tape. They said, we can't use him, but they referred the family to another school. And the bottom line is he got a scholarship at a smaller school, or partial scholarship. I don't know how they do it, but he was able to play. And so I wrote about how on Martin Luther King Day, I met this woman who was a single mom, and her son was a running back, and that he was able to get a position on a team. So at first I got a bunch of emails saying, hey, that's great. You did a great thing for somebody. And then like 2 days later, it turned. People said I was racist, and the tone turned into, if that would have been a white kid, would I have done the same for him? And I never mentioned the race. But here's the thing. It was a white kid. But I think when people heard single mom and the kid had a little speed to him, they just assumed that he was black. And so I got attacked for that after initially receiving praise for trying to help somebody. So I believe that we're put on this earth, if possible, if we're put in the position to help people no matter what, that's what we're supposed to do.
Amen.
Yeah, dude to the left years a big
hey, Terry, what
that.
did these people that don't matter, but like that thought that it wasn't a white, when you told them, hey, by the way, it is a white kid?
I never told them. I just think it wasn't worth it at the time.
Because it's not worth to them because they don't care. That's not the audience. Mm-hmm. But God bless. That's awesome. And I'm sure, can I ask you this? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't Martin Luther King be proud of that for his day, that connection brought you and this to give service to somebody else?
And when Martin Luther King was assassinated, he was trying to unionize or get the workers together in Memphis who were sanitation workers. So I'm assuming there was black people and white people, and it did. People assume that Martin Luther King was only about helping black people. That's not true.
No.
And there was, in fact, I went to a Martin Luther King celebration in Washington, D.C., and what they were trying to do was they were trying to elevate Native Americans because, they're trying to address alcoholism. They're trying to address the fact that they're pissed that they lost their land and stuff, and just a bunch of other things. So it wasn't just about helping black people. And I've never been about just helping black people. I've never been about that. I just look at people. Somebody needs help. Most of the time I can't help you because I'm a scrub, but if I can, I try to.
Well, you always help Neil out of that glass of bourbon.
Yeah, you always do. I think it boils down, and this is great timing by Epic and the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. This is what when it's all said and done for me, on my headstone, I want something to this effect. He says, "You're either cool or you're not," and that's it. Like when I'm dead and gone, man, I just want it. Your rise, Neil Rule. He wasn't a dick.
Listen, you're either an asshole or you're not.
That's it, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say about Neil? Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare.
Leave it at that.
I don't want a bottle of that in there.
Right.
Too. So I think. And real quick too, Our audience is our audience, and there are a lot of great comments about the story and about MLK and everything like that. And that's on brand for our audience, and I'm glad to hear that. But this is also on brand for our audience. That Mike G says Black Santa loves MLK too, and he does.
He does.
Because he loves everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We love you all. Appreciate you tapping in.
Absolutely.
The Big D Energy. Thanks to all the fine folks out here at Feldman Chevrolet. They are Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer in Novi. The champ is here. We'll be back in studio for T. Foss, for D-Mac, for Sam Flannel, for Westy, Alex Westfall,
Unbelievable.
Stick and Joey, the whole squad out here. My name's Neil Rule. Thanks for tapping in. The Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.